David here with Motion Networks Incorporated. I had an interesting day yesterday. Let me explain. I'm talking on the phone with a friend about just a certain obstacle I've got going on. And the obstacle doesn't matter. What matters is in that same conversation, I opened up about a mutual friend of ours who I kind of had a falling out with. This person was trolling me on Facebook to the point of my friends and family saying, "Who is this guy? Why do you keep these friends?" And I realized what he was doing, and I kind of identified it as trolling, and I blocked him. And I started avoiding his calls and his texts. And I told this to my friend on the phone, and he said, "How are you going to overcome an obstacle if you can't even confront a friend?" And I had never thought about that before. And I thought I was dealing with the problem, but quite frankly, I was running away from it. This friend was just going to keep texting, and it was going to get uncomfortable unless I blocked his number too. But then what if I saw him in person, So I had never thought about actually confronting this friend to deal with it. And those of you who know me well know that I am notoriously anti-confrontational. And so this was difficult for me. But in a moment of courage, right after I got off the phone with the one friend, I called the other friend and I told him, "Look, this is what you were doing and this is why I blocked you." And in the course of that conversation, I realized that this friend still had some redeeming qualities. And we ended up, make a long story short, maintaining our friendship, but we set a ground rule that we just wouldn't communicate on Facebook anymore. So he'll stay blocked and we're not going to talk on Facebook any longer, but we're still friends. And that confrontation, it wasn't even going to happen until this other friend of mine told me, maybe it's necessary. And so I have no regrets. It actually turned out really well. I can't tell you if, any confrontation you may have with a friend or somebody where it's necessary to confront will turn out as well as mine did. It may get ugly. I don't know. That's not the point of this little story here. The point of it is that the confrontation is sometimes necessary. Sometimes you've got to deal with something. And you can't just run away from it because it just gets worse. And it's more important than ever to learn healthy confrontation. Because as of the date of this video, the world is caving in on itself. People are not getting along. There are quite literally two factions forming in society, and they hate each other. And the truth of the matter is that right now and 100 years from now, we all still have to live together. So, and the confrontation you may have to have with somebody can run the gamut of you trying to convince them at all costs to both of you agreeing to disagree. But what counts is that at the end of the confrontation, there's peace. And there may be peace by saying, "Look, let's take a break. Let's just walk away from each other for a while," Or it could, you could just rediscover a friendship or something, or lay out some ground rules for moving on, Who knows? But it's important because things are just really hostile out there right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and, it's crazy. And so I just feel like it's more important now than it ever was to learn healthy confrontation and practice it when necessary. I think it's essential to all of us getting along, and quite frankly, it might be essential to the continuation of Western civilization. Seriously, all civilization, shoot. We've got to get along, Anyway. Maybe I'm inflating that a little bit, but I do think healthy confrontation is important, and I think now is a better time than ever to learn it. And if I learned it, you can too. Trust me on that one. Anyway, if you got anything out of this video, leave a like. I would appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.